A 7-game weekend for CMU hockey with D2 opening up their season, D3 facing nearby foes, and women's looking for a cross-division upset. We'll break it all down here on this web-exclusive episode of Inside Chippewa Hockey. The battle of 127 against Michigan State, followed by a fight for M20 with Ferris State, awaited the Central Michigan D3 team. Alongside Sean Bendard, I'm Lindsay Lewis. After a split with Grand Valley the weekend prior, a consistently tough Spartan team welcomed CMU for their home opener to start the series. MSU brought the heat on power play during the first period as MSU's Caleb Schimpling drives up center ice, plays up in the circle, takes a shot on net, and scores!
In prototypical Michigan State-style offensive mode, great passing, great lanes to work from, and Stripling found a great seam to get one through Riley Morgan.
MSU drives the puck up center ice. Riley Morgan blocks it. MSU passes it up to center ice. He takes his shot and he scores.
Prime real estate if you can get it. The slot is the most preferable area on the ice. Nothing doing right there for Morgan, and that's the last goal he would give up in this one.
Justice Bigelow drives right up to the net, sneaking right past MSU's defense, shoots and scores his 4th goal of the season to tie up the game.
Bigelow's got some great hands, and he's been told that, and we've been told that by some of his teammates in the last couple of years. This is a no-brainer for him. He has real estate to work with, takes a shot on net, and Neighbor can't find that one on a routine save. Ties up the game for CMU.
Cal Jesko heads to MSU's side of the ice, taking his shot, the MSU defenseman getting unlucky with the puck, bouncing right off his skate and into the net.
Cal Jesko's been around the game of hockey for a long time. He's a veteran on this CMU team, and he knows that if you even put a shot on net when a player's out of position, as Alex DeSoto was right there, good things can happen. This gave CMU an insurmountable 3-2 lead and a bad mistake from Alex DeSoto.
CMU's D3 team came home to face MSU again on Saturday. MSU's Tristan Eggenberger coming up center ice too quick for the Chippewas, takes a shot and scores near the end of the first period.
This is what happens when you drive the net. Pucks get loose right in front of that slot area, and that's a no-brainer right there to get that one through. Easy upstairs goal for Michigan State.
MSU playing up in the danger zone. MSU's Austin Rothy takes a shot, putting it past CMU goalie Riley Morgan to score his 2nd goal of the season.
Beautiful one-timer right there. You got a man facing on the left side of the net, wide open area on the right side. You get that through cleanly, that's a goal almost 9 out of 10 times.
Playing up in the circle once again, MSU finds themselves scoring opportunity on a wide open net.
You give Riley Morgan a hard night's work the night before, having to save so many pucks as he did, and in this game, just too much from MSU as they came up with a 3-0 win.
CMU looks to rebound against Ferris State after a tough loss against Michigan State on Saturday. Ryan Tyre works the puck around the back of the net, looking to score the 1st goal of the game. Swings around, takes a shot, and puts it past Ferris on power play.
Tyre has been unbelievable this season. He almost has 4 times as many goals this season as he did last year, and he has been playing phenomenal. That's a great shot from him.
Brennan Martin playing back, gets the pass, sees his opportunity, and takes a shot on net, bouncing right past Ferris' defense.
Martin was a sight for sore eyes that we had been missing on the defensive side. Great shot from him right there, and nearly a fantastic save in front of the net, but that one squeaks its way through, and Martin comes up with his 1st of the season. Long overdue.
A face-off in Central Michigan's offensive circle. Dalton Sutherland snags the puck, wraps it around the back of the net, and tips it in, giving CMU a 2-goal lead in the 2nd period.
Unbelievable play here from Dalton Sutherland. He takes that one completely himself, wins the face-off, fakes out the goaltender, and gets it on the other side. A beautiful wraparound.
Dalton Sutherland tries to move the puck at the back of the net. Gleason gets it on his stick, shoots, and finds its way through for CMU's 3rd goal of the game on power play.
This is one of the big things that we see from the captain. He has such good cycling with the puck back there, and he's so good at walking the line. Gleason goes top cheddar right there, and that one had no chance of being stopped.
A 2-1 weekend for CMU D3 puts their record 9 games in at 7-2. Sean, what do we know about the guys after their split with State?
Well, we know that they're tenacious and that they are a better team than last year. They've never been able to win at Munn Ice Arena, and they were able to do that in pretty demanding fashion on Friday night. Now, Saturday's game, they just kind of played less than we've expected of them lately, and it's the same thing we saw Saturday against Grand Valley. This is still a good Central Michigan team. These are two very good splits for them, and don't let the losses take over how well they did in the wins.
How do you think starting off conference play against two of the better teams will prepare them for the rest of the season?
Well, one of the things I always like to say is baptism by fire, and we know how good Central Michigan can be because of how much they test themselves early on. Now, this is no joke of a team playing against Grand Valley, playing against Michigan State, and going forward, their next conference matchup is against Hope, so they're going against the best of the best to start off. Then when you're facing Adrian, when you're facing Northwood, it's going to be nothing besides just prepping yourselves up for the next big matchup. It's good to get these big games going early.
Ferris State on Sunday gave the Chippewas a chance to find their scoring touch. What did that game show us, Sean?
You know, this showed that Central Michigan can indeed dominate a game against a team that's not up to their playing level. Now, Ferris State came out on fire, and Coach Cadzo gave them all the credit in the world for the way that they started off that game. And we were talking about it as well in the broadcast. It was kind of surprising to see how well Ferris came out, but Central Michigan turned the momentum meter back in their favor, took control of that game, and did exactly what we hoped and expected them to do.
Plenty of great performances across the board. Who do you think is our player of the week this game?
I got to give it to the captain, James Gleason. Gleason played so well up this weekend, and he really led the guys. A big win for him at Michigan State. A tough loss at home, but he really played the line so well. He didn't take any dumb penalties. He stood up for his guys, and he did exactly what the team needed out of their captain. He played a phenomenal series, and you got to give the nod to the cap, to James Gleason for player of the weekend.
Across state, home and home awaits the Chippewas this weekend as they take on Trine Thunder, a new team to the ACHA this year. What do you expect from this Trine team?
Well, all we can talk about from this Trine team is what we know from who they played, and they've blown out the team that they faced in Ferris State. They've played well against who they've faced off against so far, but it's tough to be able to actually get an accurate reading on Trine just because of how good the opponents that they've had have been, which is not very good. CMU versus Trine will be interesting, but I think this is a very winnable series for Central.
How do you think CMU will match up against them?
You know, again, we go back to team history against who they've played. And I think with CMU's control of better teams, playing the Grand Valleys, playing the Michigan States, and dominating the Ferris States, I think this game definitely points in favor of Central Michigan. And obviously, having to start off on the road, and especially a long road trip down to Angola like the guys have to take, it gets those bus legs under you. But I think Central Michigan will really come into this game firing on all cylinders, especially if goaltender play from Riley Morgan keeps as consistent as it's been.
From D3 season well underway to the start of the season for D2, let's send it over to Ashley Kaplan for opening weekend.
Thanks, Lindsay. The Division II team kicked off their 2017-18 season with a home-and-home series against Lawrence Tech. Game 1 in Southfield was canceled due to the officials not showing up, so the season opened up at home on Sunday. Sunday at home against LTU, Jake Turowski steals the puck, skates on the ice, passes to CJ Myers, he shoots, scores the first goal for D2 season.
Turowski had a phenomenal game, and that's just a great job getting that one right through the legs to Myers, who finishes the job off for CMU's first goal of the season.
Jake Turowski with the puck again. He sees an opening at a bad angle, but takes the shot anyway. He scores! Yeah,
Turowski, like I was talking about, phenomenal game for him. Bar down beauty right there. Central Michigan fighting back in this one, just down a goal in the second.
Skating down the ice, LTU's Blake Heyer takes a backhand shot and scores LTU's 6th goal of the game.
Not sure how this one bounced out of the zone off of a shot on net, but you got to drive the net. Backhand to undress the goalie right there. Increases that LTU lead by 3, and they had rally scoring that was burying the Chippewas.
Gannon Hinkie on a power play is past the puck, takes a difficult angle shot, and scores once again for CMU.
Too little too late right here, but that was a phenomenal goal to just put the shot on net, finds its way through, and it's a good redemption goal to close out the night for CMU.
The Chippewas fell flat in their first game of the season, but showed plenty of energy and competitive drive. Sean, what was the major takeaway from Sunday's game?
I think we really see the tenacity of this team. You know, they had a 2.5-hour-long road trip to start the weekend without a single minute of playing time at LTU on Friday night. They came back and they were ready to go on the ice. They scored the first goal, and even when they went down, they kept coming back and doing what they could to stay in that game. LTU overpowered them with the speed and at least having a few games under their belt. But I think we saw that Central Michigan can fight back and will fight back in games if they have to be behind them. And I think that's really good on the mark of them going forward, especially against a very tough Adrian team coming up.
What should we expect from D2 for the remainder of the season?
It's tough to really get a full grasp on what we should expect from them just yet, but I think we really see that this team's going to fight. They're going to have a bulldog mentality if they have to go into games as the underdog, or even if they're not in the game necessarily as the top dog. If they go in and they know that they can fight and they can compete, maybe if they don't come up with the win, at least they're getting better as a team every single time they hit the ice.
It is early in the season, but who would you say was the player of the weekend for the Division II team?
I really like the way that CJ Myers played. You know what? He led the charge. He got the first goal of the season. That's always a big thing for the team. But you know what? He looked like he was comfortable inside of the offensive end, and I thought he played really good quality hockey on Sunday.
The Chippewas head down to Adrian to take on the Bulldogs on Friday, and then will come home Saturday for an early day game to close out the weekend. Sean, what can we expect to see from both teams this weekend?
Oh man, Adrian is a tough opponent. They're always tough. This is a gold team that moved up the Division II level, and this team has played a tough Toledo game already. They have a very tough task ahead, does CMU D2, going into Arrington Ice Arena. Very hard place to win for any team on Friday night, coming back home against them. Adrian Gold is probably one of the best teams they're going to play in these next coming months, and this is a team that I don't think at this point of the season anybody wants to face. This is a great test for Central Michigan D2. They compete in this game, they get some things out of it and come back and apply them on Saturday. I don't know, anything could happen this weekend. We've seen crazier things in the game of hockey. It's a very good test for them, and especially in a road environment.
And D2 has never played Adrian, so how do you expect that this game's going to go?
We know what to expect from Adrian, at least on a broadcast perspective, based on how we've seen Gold play. And they're a very tough style of hockey. They're probably one of the hardest hitting teams that D2 is going to face this season. They have a very good coach who really knows how to run his systems. It's going to be tough for him, but I think D2 really view this as something to come in with a new vision. They can come into this game saying, this team's never seen us, we've never seen them, but they have never seen us. They only know about us from what they've read in the stat book and what they maybe have seen on film. They have to compete against us. They have to play us the full 60 minutes. Let's give them a Chippewa game.
That will do it for our Division II coverage. Now we go back to Lindsay for a recap on the women's series.
Thanks, Ashley. The women's ACHA D2 team opened up their season with the tall task of facing the ACHA's newest D1 team, Aquinas, who beat CMU 27-0 in 2 games last season. A hat trick from freshman Mac Barnett on Friday night led the way for CMU to pull off a massive upset, 5-4 on home ice. Sunday morning was a different story, though, as a bus-legged Chippewa team fell 9-0 to the Saints. Sean, a season opening split against a higher division foe, what does that mean for the Chippewas?
Well, it shows a lot of progression for the team. I mean, this is a team that could not get a single goal against them last year. And to be able to win any game at all, or even be competing in that game against Aquinas, D1 or D2, it doesn't matter. When you lose 27-0, you're disrespected. To come up with a 5-4 win to open your season, that's absolutely massive for the team. And having Brittany Knopp lead that team as the coach, it shows how much better this team is going to be and how they're going to compete in the CCWHA. And maybe too early to say so, but this culture is completely different from this team.
The ladies aren't back in action until they travel to Adrian November 4th against the newest ACHA D2 team. How do you think this will affect the team?
Well, Adrian, consistently, it doesn't matter what level of hockey it is, ACHA, NCAA, any of the divisions, Adrian's always good. And from what we've seen from them, they have a few ACHA D1 women's drop-downs who have performed very well for the team. They've played a couple of games already, and we've seen some of the speed and some of the scoring ability from this team. But having a whole month to prepare for that Adrian team, that's huge because they have experience under their belt already. They went against Aquinas and said, okay, this is what we need to work on from the 9-0 loss. This is what we need to keep improving on from the 5-4 win. They can watch the film on Adrian as much as they want to, but until they implement it on November 4th and 5th, that's when we get the real test to see how good this team is going to be and how much practice really helped for them.
Thank you, Sean, for breaking down the weekend for us. And thank you for joining us on our first web-exclusive episode of Inside Chippewa Hockey. Don't forget to keep up with all of this weekend's action and broadcast on our website, ChippewaHockeyNetwork.com. And as always, fire up, Chips.